The first warning didn't come from her voice. It came from the sharp tap. Tap. Tap of heels marching across my driveway like a drill sergeant testing concrete. I was on my porch that morning, sipping coffee from my father's old chipped mug when I heard it. I set the cup down, leaned forward and thought, "That's way too much confidence for 8 a.m. Then the voice followed. "Excuse me?" "You're in my assigned spot." I turned. A woman I'd never met stood at the end of my driveway, hands on her hips, jaw forward, eyes blinking too fast for someone calm. Her haircut looked sharp enough to cut rope. "My assigned spot?" I asked, stepping off the porch and tightening my flannel. The morning air smelled like dry leaves and lake water drifting from behind the barn. She pointed at my truck, parked neatly on my concrete. "Yes. This driveway is designated overflow parking. You're blocking my access." I blinked slowly, trying to understand if she was joking. She wasn't. Her stance was stiff, like she'd practiced this confrontation in a mirror. I finally said, "I live here. This is my driveway." Her lips tightened into a thin, battle-ready line. "You must be new," she said. "I enforce the rules on this block. Please move your truck." Inside, I felt disbelief slowly warm into irritation. My father used to say, "Son, don't let nonsense take root." I wondered if this counted as nonsense. "No," I said plainly. "Truck stays." Her nostrils flared like a bull that had just heard disrespect. "You're violating community standards." "I'll have to report this." "Then report it," I replied. She turned on her heel, stomping off like a punctuation mark slamming shut 10 minutes later. Sirens, my stomach dropped as 2 cruisers rolled up. Karen, the name fit, instantly stood at the curb, with her arms folded like a queen awaiting execution of a peasant. One officer approached me with a notepad. "Sir, we got a report about a parking dispute escalating toward trespassing." I looked at him, then at my truck, then at Karen. "Officer, this is my house." He glanced at the property, nodded slowly, and turned to her. "Ma'am, this driveway belongs to him." Her eyes popped wide. She snatched a thick blue binder from her tote bag tabs. Highlighters, laminated pages. A weapon of obsession. "Actually," she said sharply, "community overflow guidelines allow residents to use shared driveways. I have the documents." She flipped to a page with dramatic flair. The officer leaned in, squinted, and frowned. "Ma'am, this is a landscaping budget." Her smile cracked. I almost laughed, but kept a straight face. "I didn't threaten anyone," I said quietly. "She just wants my driveway," the older officer muttered. "Civil matter, not criminal." They left moments later, but not before Karen filed a formal complaint on the curb. As they drove away, I thought, this woman treats clipboards like weapons. 2 days later, I sat in the HOA conference room, a beige box with fluorescent lights, humming like they were tired of witnessing neighborhood. Drama got Karen sat at the head of the table when I walked in. Her binder was open again, papers spread like a military map. Her posture said, "I came prepared to win." The HOA president, Linda, cleared her throat. "We're here to discuss a parking conflict." Karen jumped in before Linda finished the sentence. "It's not a conflict. It's a violation. He refused to clear my allocated space." Her tone was icy and theatrical. Her eyes didn't blink once. When my turn came, I kept it simple. "I own the driveway. I didn't give permission. That's all." Karen gasped, like I'd admitted to a felony. "You think you can ignore the rules?" She snapped inside. I wondered if she actually enjoyed this fight. Some people need chaos, like plants need sunlight. The meeting dissolved into chatter. But one thing became clear. She wasn't done. Not even close. A week later, just after sunrise, I heard tires crunching gravel. SFX, gravel crunching light wind. I looked through my blinds and froze. Karen had driven her SUV onto the edge of my lawn. Her front tire sat inches from my flower beds. I walked outside with my phone in hand. "Get off my property," I said. She lowered her window with smug confidence. "This is a courtesy inspection. Ensuring your driveway meets community standards." I stared at her. Inspection. You can't just drive on my grass. Her chin lifted. Authority requires enforcement. Before I replied, a moving van appeared behind her. Stuck because of her illegal parking. Horns, yelling, chaos, neighbors, peeked through blinds like we were the morning entertainment. Karen didn't care. She waved at me like I caused the gridlock. Then sirens again. 2 more cruisers. Karen straightened in her seat like royalty. See. They always respond when I call. My pulse hammered. I took a deep breath, smelled the lake breeze rolling in, and reminded myself not to lose my temper. One officer stepped out. This time his notepad wasn't just for show. By the time we reconvened at the HOA, people whispered as I walked in. Some smirked. Some avoided eye contact. A few were genuinely curious who would win this neighborhood war. Karen sat in the same throne-like chair, binder open, iPad ready. Power-drunk smile in place. Linda gestured for calm. Let's resolve this peacefully. Karen leaned forward like a hawk. He continues to violate guidelines. He ignores authority. I have evidence. She displayed photos blurry, time-stamped wrong. Taken from behind a bush, I kept my voice even. None of those show communal use. The driveway is on my deed. Silence. Linda flipped through Karen's binder again, eyebrows tightening. Karen, these are your personal notes. There's no official rule designating that driveway as shared. Karen's hands trembled. Her breathing quickened. Her eyes darted classic signs of losing control. I added gently, calling the police doesn't change property rights. Linda closed the binder. This case is closed. Any further attempts could be considered harassment. It was over. Karen froze like she'd been unplugged, as the room emptied. I felt the tension finally release like air from a tightened valve. I didn't gloat, didn't smirk, just walked out with quiet dignity. The cedar fence behind my house swayed in the breeze, and for the first time in weeks, my driveway felt like mine again. Later that evening, I sat on my porch with my dad's old mug. Watching sunlight slide across the lake, I thought about how ridiculous the whole thing had been. Someone's obsession with control could turn a simple driveway into a battleground. But I also realized something. Standing your ground doesn't always require shouting. Sometimes calm confidence rattles people more than anger ever could. The neighborhood slowly returned to normal. Karen kept her distance. I kept my driveway, and peace settled in like a long sigh. Dignity isn't loud. It just doesn't move when pushed. But little did I know, this wasn't the last time she'd test the limits of neighborhood sanity. Home isn't just walls and a roof. It's the ground you stand on, the memories tied to it, and the quiet pride of defending what's yours without losing your humanity. Sometimes the battle isn't about concrete. It's about respect. If you've ever faced a neighbor like this, hit like. Share your own HOA nightmare in the comments. And subscribe for more real homeowner stories where sanity, patience, and the occasional police cruiser collide.